me continue with that video real quick. All right, so if you have starter fluid, right? Engine starter fluid helps you helps you determine whether this bike will actually ever run too. Clearly, we already know the engine is moving just fine, freely. The next thing is to locate the air box, which on this case, it's on the opposite side of this. Right here. And for this, just right behind this cover right here, it was bolted in with some Allen key bolts. 3 bolts, remove them all. All right, simple as that is. Battery's still hooked up. We're gonna do a quick fire and see it will fire up. And using this, spray a little bit into the air box. Turn it back on, give it a crank. Oh, you hear it firing up, right? Ooh, it's about to fire up. Hear that? The bike runs perfect. You can hear it. No issues at all, no clanking, no nothing. So you could clearly know you could fix this bike. You could fix this bike. So, what do? Confirm whether the battery is working or not. Can it hold a charge? If not, just buy a brand new one. You're more than likely, this battery's probably been in there for over a few years, and batteries on motorcycles probably tend to last like 5 years at most. The cheaper ones tend to last like 2 years, 3 years maybe. So, replace the battery. Replace the battery. But you know the engine is going to fire just fine. So now the next thing is removing everything else. Removing the tank, removing the carburetors, and literally pushing all these components back and throwing it inside the carburetor cleaner. I'll show you both ways on how to actually clean the carburetors as well. And hopefully that works out for you. Let's see what else I gotta make sure. And that, hey, if you're bored, it's always nice to replace filters as well. It's a foam filter. All right. Nothing wrong with it. There's no hole. It's not degraded in any way. You're gonna touch it because foam filters tend to like break apart, especially for the really older models, early 2000s especially. These foam pieces will start to fall apart over time. So, hey, if it's if it's easier for you, just might as well replace the part itself. It's okay. Like I said, there's not anything that's going to kill the bike or anything. There's also a kind of pre-screen in there as well, so it prevents bigger chunks from just flying into the engine. You don't want to waste all your time doing this after you just clean the carburetors and then you just gunk it back up with foam or stuff like that, right? So I know I don't need that anymore, so I could probably button that back up real quick. And the only reason I'm going to button it back up is because I don't want parts being laying around everywhere, and especially all these extra bolts. You know what I mean? So just going to put it back in. I can hand tighten it for now. And we'll continue with the rest of the bike. Like I said, we're going to remove the tank. Okay, that's the only way we're going to be able to access the rest of this bike. There's other bikes that are easier to build. So this Kawasaki Ninja is just the start process. It's one of the, I want to say, a little tougher to work on, just because the components are so compact with one another. Like one of these older bikes, the ones right next to me, this green one, that's an easy one. Parts are very separated, so you have space to work on everything. But other than that, I will show you guys the next process after this video. So make sure you subscribe, like the video, help me out, and yeah, this is just the first time ever trying to do a video on the bikes I build, and I've built plenty in my lifetime, and all of them run just fine. The only scary part is when you finish it and there's a leak, like oil leaks. Oil leaks are hard. Fuel leaks are easy. Most likely it's just a line that's cracked or something like that. But an oil leak, those are always hidden. And we work through those together if it ever comes to that, ever. But there's plenty of other bikes that I will eventually start working on, and they will have oil leaks, and I will show you what I do to try to reduce the oil leak or completely fix the whole entire thing. All right.